Hello, my name is Natalie and I'm the Buddhist Chaplain at the University of Strathclyde. So for this year's Scottish Interfaith Week, because the theme is storytelling, I'm going to tell you the story of, well, a very much summarised version of the story of the life of Buddha. I've chosen this story not only because it's beautiful and inspiring, but because it resonates with values which seem key to Interfaith Scotland. It's a story about understanding and connecting with others, about breaking down the apparent barriers between us which can lead to discrimination. And it's a story about a strong wish to benefit others and create a better world. So the book that I'll use to tell this story is Introduction to Buddhism by Geshe Kelsang Gyatso Rinpoche. Before talking about the life of who we commonly refer to as the Buddha, that is the founder of the Buddhist religion, Buddha Shakyamuni, I'll quickly explain what Buddha means. In general, Buddha means awakened one, someone who has awakened from the sleep of ignorance and sees things as they really are. A Buddha is a person who is completely free from all faults and mental obstructions. Because Buddhas are free from mental faults and obstructions, all of them, they have the power to help all other living beings in many, many ways. Ultimately, they help them by guiding them to full enlightenment, so that they can be completely freed from suffering and become a Buddha themselves, able to help others achieve the same state. This means that anybody can become a Buddha through spiritual training. Buddha Shakyamuni wasn't born a Buddha, he too went through this training to become one. So Buddha Shakyamuni was born Prince Siddhartha into a royal family in 624 BC in a place which is now part of Nepal. As a prince, Siddhartha had a life of luxury with all the enjoyments he could possibly desire, and he was largely guarded from much of the struggles of life. However, sometimes Prince Siddhartha would go into the capital city of his father's kingdom to see how the people lived. During these visits he came into contact with many old people and sick people, and on one occasion he saw a corpse. These encounters left a deep impression on his mind and led him to realise that all living beings without exception have to experience the sufferings of birth, sickness, ageing and death. Because he understood the laws of reincarnation, he also realised that they experience these sufferings not just once, but again and again, in life after life without cessation. Seeing how all living beings are trapped in this vicious circle of suffering, he felt deep compassion for them, and he developed a sincere wish to free all of them from their suffering. Realising that only a fully enlightened Buddha has the wisdom and the power to help all living beings in this way, he resolved to leave the palace and retire to the solitude of the forest, where he would engage in profound meditation until he attained enlightenment. So when the people of the kingdom learned about Siddhartha's intention to leave, they didn't want him to. His father, the king, arranged a marriage for Siddhartha. And kind of to temporarily please these people, Siddhartha agreed, and he remained a royal prince. But his compassionate wish didn't change, and he devoted all his time and energy helping the people in the kingdom however he could. When he turned 29, he told his parents again that he wished to retire to a peaceful place in the forest where he could meditate and quickly attain full enlightenment. He said that once he'd done this, he'd be able to repay the kindness of all living beings, including his parents. Again, the king refused to grant him permission to leave. He surrounded Siddhartha in the palace, with loads of objects of pleasure, hoping that this would make him change his mind. It didn't, and one night Siddhartha escaped and made his way to a place called Bodh Gaya in India. He meditated particularly on the ultimate nature of all phenomena, for 6 years. When he realised that he was really close to attaining full enlightenment, he sat beneath the Bodhi tree and vowed not to arise from meditation until he was fully enlightened. Terrifying forces tried to attack Siddhartha, and attractive forces tried to distract him. But through the power of his concentration, Siddhartha was undisturbed and became a Buddha, Buddha Shakyamuni, a fully enlightened being. After he arose from meditation, Buddha Shakyamuni went about and he gave 84,000 teachings, which explain how to liberate oneself from suffering and how to attain full enlightenment for the sake of others. The main idea of these teachings is that all the problems we experience in our daily lives don't originate in external sources, but in ignorance in our minds. By putting these teachings into practice, we can eliminate this ignorance and protect ourselves from suffering by developing lasting inner peace and happiness. In a world with, what we can see now going on in the world, and, these things have always gone on, there's so much division and violence and destruction that we can see. So Buddhist teachings are as important now as they've ever been. They're driven by compassion for all living beings without exception, and are a method for attaining peace within our minds, which is the essential first step for achieving peace in our world. Okay, thank you for listening.